Chosen one, hear this with clarity and conviction. God has not left you exposed, abandoned, or vulnerable. There is a divine shield placed around your life that cannot be penetrated by envy, witchcraft, manipulation, sabotage, or hidden agendas. You are not surviving by chance, you are standing by covenant. Scripture declares plainly, no weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue which rises against you in judgment you shall condemn. Isaiah 5:17. That is not poetry, it is a legal decree from heaven. The weapon may be formed, the plan may be crafted, the attack may be initiated, but prosperity is forbidden. Effectiveness is denied. Completion is blocked. Understand this, the shield around you is not made of emotion, optimism, or positive thinking. It is made of divine authority. Psalm 5 tells us that the Lord surrounds the righteous with favor, as with a shield. Favor is not fairness. Favor is divine preference. It means God places His reputation on your protection. When someone attempts to harm you, they are not merely coming against a human being. They are challenging the integrity of God Himself. That is why attacks against you keep failing in ways even your enemies cannot explain. Many people wonder why plots against you collapse, why conversations behind your back never gain momentum, why doors meant to close mysteriously remain open. It is because heaven has declared you untouchable for this season. Psalm 91 says, "He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty." A shadow implies proximity. You are not protected from a distance, you are protected by nearness. God is close enough to cast His shadow over your life, and anything that comes under that shadow must submit. Chosen one, the shield does not mean battles do not arise. It means battles cannot consume you. Arrows may fly, but they cannot lodge. Words may be spoken, but they cannot root. Schemes may be planned, but they cannot mature. The enemy studies patterns, but God disrupts patterns. What was meant to weaken you instead sharpens discernment. What was meant to confuse you instead clarifies vision. Joseph was not shielded from betrayal, but he was shielded from destruction. What was intended for evil, God turned for good, as declared in Genesis 5:20. This shield also explains why certain relationships were blocked without explanation. Some people were weapons disguised as helpers. Some environments were traps wrapped in opportunity. But before you stepped into danger, God stepped in with interruption. Proverbs tells us that the Lord orders the steps of the righteous. Sometimes protection feels like disappointment. Sometimes the shield looks like delay. But delay is often defense in disguise. Do not confuse silence with absence. When God is quiet, He is often building fortification. While you were praying for relief, He was constructing resistance. While you were asking for clarity, He was strengthening boundaries. Ephesians reminds us that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers. That means some attacks are not human in origin, and therefore cannot be defeated with human methods. That is why the shield is spiritual. It intercepts attacks before they manifest in the natural. Chosen one, this shield is the reason you are still standing with your sanity intact. Others faced similar storms and were broken, but you emerged refined. Not because you are stronger than them, but because you are covered differently. Psalm 121 declares that the Lord is your keeper, and He neither slumbers nor sleeps. Protection that never sleeps means threats never catch you off guard. While enemies plot at night, heaven patrols without rest. Notice this as well. The shield around you frustrates those who intend harm. Their plans backfire, their words expose them, their alliances dissolve. Scripture says in Job that God catches the wise in their own craftiness. The shield does not just block weapons, it reverses trajectories. What was sent to wound you returns as correction for the sender. That is not revenge, that is divine justice. This protection is not accidental, it is assignment-based. You are shielded because you are carrying something the enemy wants to interrupt. Destiny attracts resistance. Purpose provokes opposition. But God never assigns without securing. Before David faced Goliath publicly, he was protected privately among lions and bears. Before Esther stood before the king, God shielded her identity and timing. Before Jesus began public ministry, angels ministered to him after temptation. Shielding precedes manifestation. Chosen one, you may not always feel protected, but feelings are not evidence. Fruit is. You are still here. You are still moving. You are still growing. You are still becoming. That alone is proof. The shield does not prevent discomfort. It prevents destruction. It allows pressure without collapse. It permits testing without termination. 1 Peter tells us that though we may be tested by fire, it is to refine faith, not erase it. Pay attention. Attacks are increasing because resistance is increasing. The shield does not remove attention. It exposes importance. When the enemy intensifies effort, it is confirmation that heaven has intensified covering. You are not under attack because you are weak. You are under attack because you are protected and advancing. And as this truth settles deeper into your spirit, understand that this shield is active even now, intercepting conversations you will never hear, blocking doors you will never see, neutralizing weapons you will never know were formed, standing between you and outcomes that were never meant to touch your destiny. And there is still more to unfold, more revelation to come, more understanding to be revealed about how this divine protection operates in your life as God continues to fortify, reinforce, and position you for what lies ahead. And as this divine protection continues to operate, God wants you to understand that the shield around you is not passive. It is intelligent, responsive, and intentional. It discerns what you cannot see and intercepts what you cannot detect. Many of the dangers you were spared from never announced themselves. They were silent, subtle, and disguised. Yet heaven identified them instantly. Psalm 34 declares, "The angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear him and delivers them." Encampment implies strategy, positioning, and readiness. You are not guarded by chance, you are guarded by design. Chosen one, this shield explains why certain attacks never reached your heart even when they reached your environment. Chaos may have surrounded you, but confusion never settled within you. Pressure may have increased, but panic never ruled you. That is not emotional strength alone. That is divine insulation. Philippians tells us that the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, guards our hearts and minds. That peace is part of the shield. It keeps your inner world intact even when the outer world is shaking. Understand this clearly. The enemy does not waste weapons on lives without impact. Opposition is evidence of relevance. Resistance is confirmation of assignment. If you were insignificant, there would be no need to attack. But because your life carries influence, your obedience carries consequence, and your futu carries weight, heaven has authorized extra protection. Job's life teaches us this clearly. The enemy could not touch him without permission, and even then boundaries were enforced. God set limits. That same God is still setting limits today. Chosen one, the shield around you is the reason lies spoken about you never fully stick. Accusations rise, but they collapse under their own weight. False narratives circulate, but truth quietly outlives them. Isaiah tells us that every tongue that rises in judgment shall be condemned, not by your arguments, but by God's justice. You do not need to defend yourself when God is your defender. Silence, when directed by God, becomes a weapon stronger than retaliation. There were moments you almost blamed yourself for attacks that were never about you. You questioned your worth, your discernment, your obedience. But God wants you to know some resistance comes not because you were wrong, but because you were right. Jesus said, "If the world hates you, remember it hated me first." Righteous alignment often provokes unrighteous opposition. Yet even then, the shield remains firm. This protection also explains why you sensed danger before it manifested. Discernment is part of the shield. The Holy Spirit alerts you internally before harm arrives externally. That uneasy feeling, that pause, that hesitation, it was not fear, it was foresight. Proverbs says the wise are cautious and avoid danger. God often protects not by dramatic rescue, but by quiet redirection. You changed plans, you declined invitations, you delayed decisions, And in doing so, you stepped out of the path of harm. Chosen one, notice this, weapons are still being formed, but they are forming in confusion. Those who intend harm cannot coordinate effectively. Their timing is off. Their unity fractures. Their plans leak. This is because God is not only shielding you, He is disturbing the camp of the enemy. In Exodus, God confused the armies that pursued Israel, causing their chariots to malfunction. The same God still knows how to disrupt systems designed against His people. Do not be disturbed when attacks come in cycles. Cycles do not mean success. They mean persistence without progress. The enemy repeats tactics because innovation has failed. If the same strategy keeps showing up, it is because new ones are not working. You have outgrown some battles, but the enemy has not yet realized it. That is why the shield does not just block. It educates. It teaches you discernment, patience, and spiritual authority. Chosen one, the shield around you also filters access. Not everyone who desires closeness is permitted proximity. Some doors closed abruptly. Some conversations ended without explanation. Some connections faded quietly. That was not loss. It was protection. God removes access before damage. Jesus Himself did not entrust Himself to everyone because He knew what was in man. Wisdom sometimes looks like separation. This shield does not mean you will never be challenged. It means challenges will not define you. You may walk through fire, but you will not smell like smoke. You may pass through waters, but you will not drown. Isaiah promised that the flame would not burn you, and the river would not overtake you. God did not say the environment would change. He said the outcome would. Chosen one, this protection also covers your mind. Mental attacks are often the most dangerous weapons because they are invisible and persistent. Thoughts of doubt, fear, inadequacy, and discouragement try to penetrate quietly, but 2 Corinthians tells us to take every thought captive. The shield helps you recognize which thoughts are foreign and which are true. That is why some thoughts never settle. They are intercepted at the gate. Notice how God preserved your identity. In seasons where others lost themselves trying to survive, you retained clarity. You did not become bitter. You did not become cynical. You did not compromise your values to belong. That is shielding. Romans tells us not to be conformed to this world, but transformed by the renewing of the mind. Transformation is evidence of protection. Chosen one, the shield around you is generational. It is not only about you, it is about what comes after you. God protects seed carriers differently. He guards those whose obedience will bless future generations. Abraham was shielded not only for his sake, but for Isaac's. David was preserved not only for his throne, but for Solomon's wisdom. Your obedience today is building a wall around tomorrow. This protection also explains why you survived what should have broken you. Others experienced similar losses and never recovered, but you found strength where logic said there should be none. That strength was not natural, it was supernatural. Psalm 66 says, "We went through fire and water, but God brought us out into a wealthy place." Survival itself is testimony. Chosen one, sometimes the shield operates by exposure. God reveals the weapon before it strikes. He uncovers intentions, reveals motives, and brings hidden things into the light. Luke tells us that nothing hidden will remain concealed. Exposure is a form of protection. What is revealed cannot ambush you. Do not underestimate the power of obedience as part of your covering. Partial obedience creates cracks, but surrendered obedience reinforces the shield. When you align with God's will, you align with His defense. Disobedience opens doors. Obedience fortifies gates. That is why God keeps calling you back to prayer, to word, to alignment, not to control you, but to protect you. Chosen one, even now while you're reading this, there are conversations. NG redirected, decisions being delayed, intentions being dismantled, and strategies being neutralized on your behalf. You may never receive a report of what was stopped, but heaven keeps record. The shield does not announce its victories, it simply ensures your continuation. And as this understanding deepens, God is still strengthening the perimeter, still increasing discernment, still closing unauthorized doors. still positioning you ahead of danger, still guarding what concerns you, still standing watch over your life, your calling, your peace, and your future. And there is yet more insight to come, more revelation to unfold, more awareness to be given about how this divine shield operates daily, silently, faithfully, as God continues to protect, preserve, and prepare you for what lies ahead. And as God continues to enforce this divine covering, you must understand that the shield around you is multifaceted. It is not merely a defensive barrier, it is a proactive force, actively intercepting attacks before they can materialize in the natural realm. It operates on multiple levels: spiritual, mental, emotional, and even relational. Some dangers never manifest because heaven acts preemptively. Psalm 34 reminds us that the angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear him and delivers them. Encampment implies readiness, vigilance, and strategy. Your life is not merely under protection. It is strategically guarded in ways beyond human comprehension. Chosen one, the enemy often tries to disguise weapons as opportunities. Promises, favors, and invitations sometimes come wrapped in the guise of blessing. Yet the shield discerns. It reveals hidden motives before you commit. Joseph did not assume every position offered to him in Egypt was safe. Divine insight guided him. The same God who prepared Joseph's shield has prepared yours. That is why certain doors remain closed, certain relationships are delayed, and certain paths are redirected. Divine shielding is subtle, often silent, but always effective. This shield also strengthens your resilience. Challenges still arise, but they are permitted to refine you, not destroy you. Trials test character, patience, and faith. James 1 reminds us that the testing of faith produces perseverance. The shield does not remove pressure, it transforms pressure into preparation. You may feel under attack, but the attacks are sharpening you, exposing hidden weaknesses, and fortifying your spiritual armor. That is protection in action, not prevention alone. Chosen one, notice how your discernment has sharpened over time. What once seemed harmless now triggers caution. That is no accident. It is the shield teaching you vigilance. Proverbs tells us that the prudent sees danger and hides, but the simple go on and suffer for it. Divine protection is not about removing responsibility. It is about equipping you to navigate life wisely. Awareness is a gift of the shield, a spiritual radar that alerts you to unseen dangers. The shield also protects your testimony. Some attacks are designed to tarnish your name, erode influence, or create division. Yet many schemes fail silently, leaving the attackers frustrated and the shielded untook. Head. Isaiah 5:4-17 promises that every tongue raised in judgment shall be condemned. You do not need to fight every battle. Some weapons break on the shield without your intervention. Divine protection allows victory without visible struggle. Chosen one, recognize that the shield also operates relationally. God prevents toxic alliances, misleading friendships, and destructive partnerships from entering your life. Sometimes the shield manifests as distance, delay, or denial. While others may interpret separation as loss, it is actually protection. Romans 8 tells us that all things work together for good for those who love God and are called according to His purpose. The shield ensures that only relationships that align with your destiny remain. This divine covering also impacts your spiritual life. Mental attacks, doubts, and anxieties are common weapons, often invisible but deadly if unchecked. The shield intervenes at the level of thought. 2 Corinthians 10:5 instructs us to take every thought captive to obey Christ. This protective mechanism filters lies, fears, and deception before they can influence your heart. What might have destabilized others is intercepted, corrected, and neutralized in your life. Chosen one, consider how your health, finances, and career have been protected. Some assaults on your life are subtle. Financial manipulation, sabotage, or hidden competition. Yet many doors remain open that should have closed. Unexpected blessings appear that defy logic, and your body remains strong despite pressures. The shield encompasses not only spiritual but natural dimensions, ensuring holistic protection. The shield also teaches you patience. Some attacks are delayed, some situations are prolonged, and some plans appear stagnant. That is not failure, that is protection. Waiting allows for preparation. Waiting allows for alignment. Waiting allows God to maximize outcomes. Psalm 27 says, "Wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and he shall strengthen your heart." The shield often operates in what appears to be inaction, yet this is divine strategy at work. Chosen one, observe how the shield fosters wisdom. When attacks arise, you respond with discernment instead of panic. When deception surfaces, you navigate with clarity instead of confusion. Proverbs teaches that the wise person's heart discerns both time and manner. This shield trains you to respond appropriately, preserving peace and strengthening your testimony. You are not left to react instinctively. You are empowered to respond prophetically. This protective covering also prevents exploitation. Some weapons are designed to manipulate your generosity, kindness, or faith. Yet the shield intercepts those who would take advantage, ensuring that your gifts are not misused and your heart is not compromised. Matthew reminds us to store treasures in heaven, where moth and rust cannot destroy. The shield ensures that earthly forces cannot corrupt divine stewardship. Chosen one, the shield operates even in the unseen. Spiritual attacks, covenants, curses, and manipulations are intercepted before manifestation. Ephesians 6 reminds us to put on the whole armor of God so that we can stand against the schemes of the devil. Your armor is already fortified. Your shield is already in place. You are equipped for battle even before the battle begins. Notice as well that the shield brings timing into focus. Many plans that should have succeeded in the enemy's hands fail simply because God delays them. Timing is as important as protection. The shield ensures that you encounter situations, people, and opportunities at the right season, under the right conditions, and with divine advantage. Ecclesiastes reminds us that there is a time for every purpose under heaven. Divine shield preserves timing as much as it preserves life. Chosen one, the shield encourages perseverance. Attacks may continue, but persistence does not equal success. The shield ensures that repeated attempts against you are fruitless. You are not immune to effort. You are immune to successive weapons. Psalm 18 tells us that the Lord is your rock, fortress, and deliverer. That fortress extends beyond physical structures. It surrounds your mind, heart, body, relationships, and destiny. This protection also clarifies your calling. Some attacks are designed to distract, discourage, or derail you from God's purpose. Yet the shield allows focus to remain on destiny. Hebrews reminds us that we are surrounded by a cloud of witnesses. That cloud is part of divine protection. It serves to shield vision, inspire endurance, and confirm calling. Chosen one, even now, the shield is actively redirecting forces that could harm you. Conversations that could mislead you are disrupted. Plans that could confuse you are delayed. Strategies that could weaken you are neutralized. You may never witness these interventions, but the shield never fails. It is intelligent, relentless, and divinely mandated. Heaven continues to act on your behalf even while you rest, pray, or walk forward in faith. The shield also teaches faith. Seeing attacks fail without human intervention strengthens trust in God's sovereignty. Romans reminds us that God works all things for the good of those who love Him. Divine protection fosters reliance on God rather than reliance on human strength. You learn to pray more, seek wisdom more, and obey more, not out of fear, but out of trust. That trust is a key component of the shield's effectiveness. Chosen one, your peace is a product of this shield. The enemy may stir chaos, but inner calm persists. Worry may attempt to enter, but discernment filters it. Anxiety may try to see it, reap in, but faith fortifies. Philippians reminds us to let the peace of God rule in our hearts. That peace is part of the shield. It preserves mental stability, spiritual clarity, and emotional health amidst warfare. And as this understanding grows, God continues to fortify, refine, and expand the shield around you, still intercepting unseen attacks, still redirecting harmful intent, still guiding your steps, still strengthening your spirit, still preserving your calling, still ensuring that no weapon formed against you prospers. And even now, the shield operates silently yet powerfully, faithfully yet invisibly, preparing you for greater assignments, deeper revelation, and the manifestation of divine promises. As God continues to act with precision, authority, and unwavering protection on your behalf, and as God's divine shield continues to manifest around you, it is essential to recognize that its operation is multidimensional. It is not limited to one sphere of your life. It safeguards your spirit, your mind, your body, your relationships, your finances, and your purpose. Each layer of protection is calibrated for a specific type of attack, ensuring that no strategy designed against you succeeds. Psalm 91 reminds us that those who dwell in the secret place of the Most High abide under the shadow of the Almighty, and the shadow implies both intimacy and invisibility. You are protected not only from visible threats, but from hidden, insidious forces that often go unnoticed by others. Chosen one, the shield is also preventative. It anticipates attacks before they occur. The weapons may be forming in secret, the schemes may be whispered behind closed doors, and the strategies may be meticulously planned, yet they fail because the shield intercepts them at conception. God operates on foresight, not reaction. Isaiah 59:19 tells us that when the enemy comes in like a flow, the Spirit of the Lord lifts a standard against him. That standard is your shield, preemptively deployed to ensure safety, preserve destiny, and secure divine timing. This shield also manifests through spiritual discernment. Many threats are invisible to human eyes: hidden agendas, spiritual manipulations, and demonic assignments. But the shield alerts your spirit to subtle warnings. Proverbs 3:21-22 tells us that wisdom and discretion shall preserve life, and understanding will keep you safe. That preservation is not passive, it is active. You feel caution, hesitation, or a pause in seemingly ordinary situations because the shield communicates with your spirit to protect you from unseen dangers. Chosen one, understand that the shield is relational as well. God strategically removes toxic influences, prevents harmful associations, and closes doors that would compromise your growth and destiny. Some separations feel painful, but they are intentional acts of protection. Jeremiah 2:9-11 reminds us that God has plans for your welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. Every person denied access, every connection redirected, and every relationship filtered is an expression of that protective plan. The shield also allows you to endure trials without being destroyed. Attacks may still happen: criticism, betrayal, loss, disappointment, but they cannot penetrate your core. They may touch the surface, but they do not derail divine purpose. 1 Peter 1:6-7 teaches that trials test faith, producing praise, glory, and honor when Jesus Christ is revealed. The shield does not eliminate testing. It ensures that testing becomes refining rather than destructive. You are being prepared, not punished. Chosen one, notice how the shield creates supernatural timing. Delays, interruptions, and detours often appear as obstacles, but they are intentional. The enemy may attempt to accelerate harm, but God controls timing. Ecclesiastes 3 reminds us that there is a season for every purpose under heaven. The shield preserves timing to prevent premature exposure to danger, ensuring that when you step into your assignment, you do so fully protected and fully prepared. This divine covering also preserves your reputation and testimony. Words of slander, gossip, and false accusations are neutralized before they can take root. The enemy may attempt to tarnish your name, but the shield ensures that truth and integrity remain intact. Psalm 37:6 promises that the righteous shall inherit the land and dwell therein forever, and God delights in preserving your honor. The shield functions as both a defense and a silent vindicator. Chosen one, the shield extends to mental and emotional warfare. Anxiety, fear, and discouragement are common tools used to destabilize faith. Yet the shield strengthens the mind, providing clarity and discernment. Philippians 4:7 reminds us that the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, guards our hearts and minds through Christ Jesus. That peace is a critical component of the shield, maintaining equilibrium when external forces attempt to induce chaos. The shield also cultivates endurance. Attacks may be repeated, but they are ineffective. Threats may be persistent, but they are powerless. James 1:12 tells us that blessed is the one who endures temptation, for when they have been approved, they will receive the crown of life. The shield ensures that perseverance results in blessing, not burnout. It transforms repeated opposition into lessons in resilience, fortitude, and reliance on God. Chosen one, recognize that the shield does not eliminate responsibility. Your obedience, prayer, and alignment with God amplify its effectiveness. Disobedience creates vulnerabilities. Obedience strengthens fortification. Psalm 18. 2 calls the Lord a rock, fortress, and deliverer. While God is the source of protection, your partnership through faith, discipline, and vigilance activates the shield's full potential. Divine protection operates most powerfully when combined with human stewardship. This shield also transforms attacks into testimony. What was designed for destruction becomes evidence of divine faithfulness. Joseph's betrayal, imprisonment, and unjust treatment became the platform for God's glory to be revealed. Romans 8:28 reminds us that all things work together for good for those who love God. The shield ensures that attacks do not end in loss, but culminate in testimony, purpose, and reward. Chosen one, notice the spiritual intelligence of the shield. It does not merely block countermands. Every weapon formed against you is redirected, neutralized, or used to strengthen your defense. Psalm 91:11-12 tells us that God commands His angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways and lift you up so that you do not strike your foot against a stone. Protection is not passive, it is strategic, anticipatory, and precise. The shield also protects your legacy. Generational impact, family lineage, and prophetic assignments are preserved. Attacks on your reputation, finances, or influence are intercepted to safeguard not only your present, but also your future. Proverbs 13:22 teaches that a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. Divine protection ensures that your legacy remains intact and continues to flow in alignment with God's purposes. Chosen one, the shield teaches discernment in timing, people, and circumstances. Delays are lessons in patience, denials are lessons in wisdom, rejections are lessons in divine alignment. Romans 12:2 reminds us not to conform to this world, but to be transformed by the renewing of our minds. The shield instructs, protects, and guides through situations that might otherwise cause harm or distraction. This protection also strengthens your faith. Witnessing attacks fail without human intervention confirms the power and sovereignty of God. Your reliance shifts from self to Him, deepening intimacy and trust. Hebrews 11 reminds us that faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. The shield allows you to see faith validated repeatedly, reinforcing confidence in God's promises. Chosen one, even in moments of solitude, the shield operates. What you cannot see, hear, or comprehend is still intercepted, neutralized, and redirected. Angels patrol your environment. Heavenly strategies dismantle enemy operations. Spiritual gates remain closed to unauthorized access. Psalm 34:7 reminds us that the angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear Him. That encampment is not temporary. It is ongoing, vigilant, and intentional. And as this understanding deepens, God continues to fortify, expand, and refine the shield around your life, still intercepting unseen attacks, still redirecting harmful intentions, still guarding your mind, heart, body, relationships, finances, and destiny, still ensuring that no weapon formed against you prospers. And even now, the shield operates with precision, intelligence, and unwavering authority as God continues to protect, preserve, and prepare you for the fullness of your assignment, the manifestation of your promises, and the fulfillment of His divine plan. And as this divine shield continues to operate around you, it is vital to understand that it functions in ways both visible and invisible, both obvious and subtle. It is a shield that protects your present, preserves your future, and strengthens your purpose. Chosen one, there are forces you cannot see, conversations you are unaware of, and strategies forming in secret. all intercepted before they reach you. Psalm 121 reminds us that the Lord is your keeper, the Lord is your shade on your right hand. He never slumbers, He never sleeps. Protection is constant, unceasing, and comprehensive. This shield guards not only from attacks of the flesh, but from assaults of the spirit. It protects against fear, anxiety, doubt, and discouragement that attempt to destabilize your faith. The enemy may try to plant seeds of uncertainty, yet the shield neutralizes them before they germinate. Isaiah 5:17 promises that no weapon formed against you shall prosper. Prosperity is denied. Effectiveness is nullified. Every attack designed to wound, delay, or destroy is intercepted by the invisible hand of God. Chosen one, notice how this shield operates relationally. Some people have been prevented from accessing your life, not by coincidence, but by divine design. Certain friendships, partnerships, and alliances were blocked because they would have introduced harm. Jeremiah 2:9-11 reminds us that God has plans for your welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. The shield functions in alignment with this divine plan, ensuring that relationships support your calling rather than compromise it. The shield also allows for trials without destruction. Life may press, circumstances may challenge, and attacks may come, yet you endure. Romans 8:28 teaches that all things work together for good for those who love God and are called according to His purpose. What appears to be struggle is actually preservation. You may feel pressure, but that pressure strengthens you, sharpens your discernment, and clarifies your purpose. The shield transforms opposition into preparation. Chosen one, this divine covering sharpens your discernment. Proverbs 3:21-22 states that wisdom and discretion shall preserve life, and understanding will keep you safe. The shield heightens your spiritual radar, alerting you to subtle dangers, guiding you away from traps, and preventing compromise. What feels like caution or hesitation is actually divine guidance. The shield communicates with your spirit, preparing you to navigate life with clarity, prudence, and alignment. Notice the shield's role in timing. Some doors remain closed, some opportunities delayed, some relationships held back, not as punishment, but as protection. Ecclesiastes 3 reminds us that there is a time for every purpose under heaven. The shield preserves divine timing, ensuring that your steps align with destiny and that you encounter people, opportunities, and experiences at the exact right moment. Premature exposure could have led to harm, compromise, or deviation, but the shield maintains perfect sequencing. Chosen one, the shield preserves your reputation. Words of gossip, false accusations, and misrepresentation often circulate, but the shield intercepts their impact. Psalm 37:6 promises that the righteous shall inherit the land and dwell therein forever, and that God delights in preserving your honor. The shield functions silently, preventing damage before it reaches your integrity, ensuring that truth and character endure regardless of external circumstances. This protection extends to mental and emotional fortification. Anxiety, fear, discouragement, and confusion are common weapons designed to destabilize. Yet, the shield strengthens your mind and emotions, filtering what is truth and neutralizing deception. Philippians 4:7 teaches that the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, guards your hearts and minds. That peace is not passive. It actively stabilizes, calms, and protects, forming a crucial component of the shield. Chosen one, observe how the shield reinforces endurance. Challenges may persist, threats may repeat, and adversity may continue. But the shield ensures they do not succeed. James 1:12 reminds us that blessed is the one who endures temptation. When approved, they receive the crown of life. Divine protection transforms persistent attacks into exercises in perseverance, refining faith, strengthening character, and deepening reliance on God. The shield also maintains alignment with divine purpose. Attacks often seek to distract, divert, or derail you from God's assignment. Yet the shield allows focus to remain on destiny. Hebrews reminds us that we are surrounded by a cloud of witnesses, and the shield operates to preserve calling, maintain vision, and ensure that your assignment proceeds uninterrupted. Distraction may appear persistent, but it is ineffective against the fortified protection surrounding you, chosen one. The shield is active even in unseen circumstances. It works while you rest, pray, and go about your daily life. Conversations are disrupted, plans are delayed, and strategies neutralized, all without your awareness. Psalm 34:7 declares that the angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear him, delivering them. That encampment operates continuously, intelligently, and faithfully, ensuring no weapon reaches fruition. Notice that the shield cultivates trust and faith. Witnessing attacks fail without human intervention strengthens reliance on God rather than self. Hebrews 11 reminds us that faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. The shield validates faith repeatedly, reinforcing confidence in God's promises and sovereignty. You are not merely protected. Your trust in God's omnipotence is being cultivated through every intercepted attack. Chosen one, the shield guards your legacy. Generational impact, family, and prophetic assignments are preserved. Attacks on your influence, finances, or reputation are intercepted to protect your future and the blessing that flows from your obedience. Proverbs 13:22 reminds us that a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. Divine shielding safeguards your legacy, ensuring continuity of purpose and preservation of blessing across generations. The shield also teaches wisdom and patience. Delays, interruptions, and detours often feel frustrating, but they are intentional acts of protection. Timing, alignment, and preparation are preserved. Romans 12:2 reminds us not to conform to this world, but to be transformed by the renewing of the mind. The shield functions to cultivate discernment, alertness, and strategic alignment in every area of life. Chosen one, recognize the shield's role in peace and stability. External attacks may escalate, yet inner calm persists. Fear, anxiety, and confusion may attempt intrusion, but they are neutralized. Philippians 4:6-7 teaches us not to be anxious, but to pray with thanksgiving, allowing God's peace to guard our hearts and minds. That peace is a living, active part of the shield, maintaining equilibrium amid chaos and preserving mental, spiritual, and emotional stability. This shield is also proactive, not merely reactive. It does not wait for attacks to occur. It anticipates, intercepts, and nullifies. The enemy may form plots, but they fail before reaching you. Psalm 18:2 calls the Lord a rock, fortress, and deliverer. Your fortress extends beyond natural defense. It is divinely orchestrated, strategically positioned, and constantly reinforced. Chosen one, even in isolation, the shield continues to operate. You may not see every intervention, hear every disruption, or understand every protection, but the shield never ceases. It continues silently, faithfully, and powerfully, preserving your health, your calling, your destiny, your relationships, your finances, and your peace. Isaiah 5:4-17 assures that no weapon formed against you prospers. That promise remains unbroken, active, and reliable. And as this revelation deepens, God continues to fortify, expand, and refine the shield around you, still intercepting unseen attacks, still redirecting harmful intentions, still guarding your mind, heart, body, relationships, finances, and destiny, still ensuring that no weapon formed against you prospers. And even now, the shield operates with precision, intelligence, and unwavering authority as God continues to protect, preserve, and prepare you for the fullness of your assignment, the manifestation of your promises, and the fulfillment of His divine plan, as every aspect of your life remains under divine vigilance and supernatural defense. As we draw this message to a close, let the truth resonate deep within your spirit. God's shield around you is real, active, and unshakable. No weapon, no scheme, no tongue, no circumstance can penetrate the protection He has placed over your life. This shield is not passive. It is dynamic, intelligent, and purposefully positioned to guard every facet of your existence, your mind, your heart, your body, your destiny, your relationships, and your calling. You are covered, chosen, and preserved by the same God who parted seas, closed mouths of lions, and turned betrayal into triumph. Remember, the shield does not mean that trials will vanish, but it guarantees that trials cannot define you or derail your destiny. It transforms attacks into lessons, opposition into refinement, and challenges into testimony. The very obstacles intended to harm you become platforms for God's glory to manifest. Psalm 91:11-12 reminds us that angels encamp around the righteous, lifting them up so they do not stumble. A promise that is yours today, tomorrow, and forever. Chosen one, your life is under divine surveillance, divine favor, and divine intervention. You are not surviving by chance. You are thriving by covenant. Trust in this shield, walk boldly in faith, and continue to align your steps with God's purpose. Let your heart rest, your mind be at peace, and your spirit rejoice, for the one who guards you never slumbers, never sleeps, and never fails. Your protection is complete, your destiny secure, and your life, by His design, unstoppable. Stand firm in this truth. The shield around you is God's covenant with you, a promise that no weapon formed against you will prosper. Believe it, receive it, live it, and watch as every area of your life flourishes under His unwavering protection, as His glory is revealed in ways beyond imagination, and as your testimony becomes a living witness of God's faithfulness, power, and unmatched love.